All right. This is Group 11. My name is John.
My name's Leanne.
My name's Megan.
My name's Noelle.
And my name is Xinghu.
And today we're going to be talking about what makes a good leader, what qualities make a good leader, what qualities make for a poor leader. Um, what qualities do you think are most important in a leader? Let's start with good leaders.
I definitely think like being able to monitor your own emotions. My boss is literally horrible at doing that. She gets
Did you
stressed
say
out so much. Sorry, what was that?
Did you say your boss is incapable of doing that?
She gets stressed out so much, and then it like affects the whole entire team.
Yeah.
Else really stressed out, and then it makes work just like not even fun to be at.
I agree. I mean, I've had some terrible bosses as well as good ones, but all the good ones, I've seen that they are very, very calm, and they take things, like they think of things that are fun and proactive and get everyone involved. So I think the boss needs to be able to reach out to his followers or his workers on an emotional level or to get work done.
I agree. Yeah, I work at Starbucks, and the first boss I had there, and I still see him. He comes in as a customer now, but he quit a few years back, and he'll even tell you that he just wasn't prepared for the job. He wasn't, suited for that kind of position just because, like you said, he couldn't keep himself in check. He always thought that everyone like hated him or they were out to get him. And I mean, you know how it can be. Sometimes people put all the blame on the manager. So he might have had some. He might have been in the right for feeling that way sometimes. But as a manager, you kind of have to, and as a leader, you kind of have to be able to check your emotions, like you said, Leanne. And now my manager that we have now, she's able to do that like so easily. She just doesn't care. It doesn't even phase her that people might think she's mean or whatever it may be. So yeah, I'd say that's definitely a pretty important characteristic for a good leader to have. We definitely haven't had any leadership dilemmas, I don't think, at my store ever since the new manager took over. So
I also work at Starbucks, and I'm a shift there, and I honestly think it's like super hard emotions because my boss is like that, and so you just feel like so much like under pressure to like be perfect when everything right, but she is always like constantly like nagging you on the littlest thing.
oh yeah, yeah, that's exactly how my first company was. So I can. I mean, I'm not a shift, but I can still relate to how that must be.
Yeah.
How about you guys? What are your thoughts and experiences, Megan and Chi?
Well, reading chapter 3, I really enjoyed reading about the relational approach to leadership, which focuses on like a relationship between its leaders and followers. I think to have like a successful relationship with someone else, you really need to focus on, you need to be able to like communicate, if that makes sense, with your followers and kind of like get a sense what they want.
Yeah,
I agree. And with that, you want like as a leader, you would want the followers to be able to with anything. Like if they have issues, they want to feel comfortable enough to like let you on and they can try to help you.
Exactly. I think it's really important for followers to like trust and respect their leaders for there to be anything done.
And I read chapter 2 of the book, and I think a quality of good leader should be respect. Respects each follows. Respects each team members. Because in the chapter 2, it says a kind of leader is how do you say that? Authoritative. That.
Authority?
Yeah, and democratic. Because as a it should respect others' advance. Uh, some bad leaders think he is first, and you guys should do what he said. It is not good, and maybe
Mhm.
also be strict and responsible and honest and also humorous. That's it.
Yeah, I think I agree with all those. Actually, right now, Leon, I don't know if they've had you do this at your store, but I just had a training thing yesterday where they were going over like they call them like superpowers or something. But
Yeah.
do this.
I don't remember mine are. I'd have to go look at it.
Yeah, no, but I just thought it was funny because a lot of those were what he was just talking about. It seemed like, and like I remember like humor and patience and all this stuff, and it just seems like pretty much all of those things that they brought up that we all need to start working on and making sure they're like an everyday part of our job and the way we perform. It seemed like really all of those have to do with leadership in some way. I don't really know if that's what they were going for by telling us that we need to work on that necessarily, but in a way they were because they were telling me because I've been there for like 5 years now, and they were telling me that I need to make like a conscious effort to work on all those certain characteristics um, in order to kind of like coach and train the newer people or the people who are just kind of like falling behind in those categories. So in a way, that is being a leader, I guess. Just seems like that all kind of fit into what we were talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
in the book, it says the four primary themes that all leadership has are leadership about who you are, leadership about how you act, leadership is about
Mhm.
what you do, leadership is about how you work with others. And so all those things are just fitting perfectly in what, the professional are saying.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
So, what are some poor leadership qualities that you guys think?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, so many examples.
I'm sure we've all encountered some poor leaders.
I think just a communicator is one of the worst leaders you can have because they don't tell you what they want, they expect from you, but they yell at you, for not doing what you think you should be doing, and it's annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think a good leader should be able to give like constructive criticism to their followers so that they can learn from their mistakes too.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I've had like fair share of problems um, being able to give any criticism to people in like any group I've been in, whether it's minor or whatever. But like in school projects and stuff, I don't know. Even at work, I just sometimes feel like it's not my place because I'm not a manager or like in the group projects for school. I'm not like the actual head of the group. I'm not the teacher or anything like that. But so I kind of struggle with that. So I don't know. But then when it's those situations where you kind of need to step up and do that stuff in order to better the group or to better like my coworkers or whatever the situation is, it definitely would help if I'd be able to give people constructive criticism or whatever it may be. But it's always been something I've struggled with.
I'm kind of on the same page. Like, I don't really have patience. And so when I'm trying to, like, and they've been working there for a really long time, it's hard to not like understand where they're coming from and how they don't have like how they aren't catching on as quickly as others.
Right.
I think like bad leaders are probably those that don't have patience, and that's something I definitely struggle with.
Yeah. No, I mean, they've probably, thought that about me at sometimes that, I've been there for so long that if I'm not like taking initiative and like going the extra mile, it's probably frustrating to my shift managers. Like, have you been here this long and you don't understand that you need to go, take this extra step or whatever. So I've probably been a source for frustration too, but then I see that with partners, myself too, and I'll see it more like what you said, where people aren't catching on, or like you think you explained something so well, but it just doesn't like resonate with someone.
Or
And
like
there's,
you explain something to somebody and you know that you've explained it to them, and they're like, I've never learned that before.
right. We've done this like 3 or 4 times, and don't tell me you've never done it.
I remember teaching you that yesterday, but okay.
Right, right. And I guess like to be fair, it's just everyone's mind learns things differently. So I mean, I didn't even learn. They never even tried to get me to learn how to make drinks for the first 6 months that I worked there. All I did was work in the drive-through window. And so by the time eventually they were like, "Hey, you should probably learn how to make drinks so you're like a decent partner." It was a terrible struggle for me because I was, I felt like I was so far behind and I was worthless, even though I'd been there for 6 months. But but yeah, like I said, I'll see that too, and I'll try to explain something to someone in like a coaching manner, just to try to help them out. But since I'm not a shift or a, the actual store manager at that, I just I just struggle like actually trying as hard as I probably should to help them out as much as I can, because I don't want to seem like I'm criticizing them too hard, even if they need the help. I don't know. It's just something that's always been hard for me.
I think that can kind of like tie into something that like how we're born with different traits that was in chapter 3. Even when I was a barista, I let people know what was up. Like I wanted them to know, and I felt comfortable telling them that because I position where I was constantly overwhelmed, and just like I wanted them to know like this is what you need to do and this is how you're going to do it.
Right. See, I wish I could be like that. But I don't know. I just always get, I don't know. Guess I think too hard about it, and I don't want to come off as rude and like make someone walk out of their shift and never come back or anything. Even though I'm sure they never would. People usually appreciate the help or the criticism as long as
It
it's
might
not like
be
in a
like the
mean way.
different environments that we're in. Like you might be in a completely different environment than I am.
Yeah, but I mean, whenever you like took someone aside and told them like how it needed to be done and made sure they knew like how you were feeling, it usually worked out in a positive way, though, right?
I mean, honestly, I had somebody tell me that like they thought to them about it, but then it made them realize like, oh my gosh, I really do need to start like stepping up my game like
Right.
a lot better, which is surprising, but
So yeah, see, like that's exactly what I'm always afraid of, is that someone's gonna think I'm being really rude. And so even when I do, take that step to try to help someone, I'm like always so cautious about every word I say. But like you said, in the end, it definitely did help them, and now they're probably a much
they're
better
definitely one of the
asset.
stronger partners that we do have.
Yeah. See, so yeah, in the long run, I think everything that we're talking about definitely does help, and does help make up someone who we can consider a good leader.